son, where'd you find this?
Okay, it's childish, can't be no homegirl dropping like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack. Move black girls, cause man, fuck it, I'll do either.
American soldiers would intentionally draw white lines over their planes. You see, German spies would secretly loosen the screws of the American plane, causing the parts of the plane to come loose in mid-air and crash during the flight. And to counter this, American soldiers drew white lines on the crucial joints of the plane, and if the white line was not perfectly straight,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. Did you know if you stunt on Franklin's house as Michael, you will actually get a text message from Franklin? But if you wait long enough, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Put it away! Oh, you're a psycho, you know that?
You decide to rob a snack shop store but don't hurt the owner when leaving. If you actually decide to come back to that same store, this time the owner will recognize you and try to kill you. If you pull out your phone and call this specific number, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. It may interest the discerning observer to learn that, should one approach Franklin's residence in the guise of Trevor and proceed to assail the property with explosive ordnance, a written communique shall, in due haste, be delivered to the assailant by means of courier. Furthermore, should one exercise sufficient patience and allow an ample interval of time to elapse, Franklin himself will ultimately emerge, compelled by duty and personal honor, to defend his household. Did you know that Michael can play tennis and so can Trevor? But funny thing is, Franklin actually can't. It won't even appear on the map for him because Franklin will eventually show up to
Never try to follow this gold money truck in GTA 5. If you go into this alley,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Did you know that in GTA 5, even if you come to Franklin's old house and shoot rockets at it, he will send you angry calls and messages telling you to stop. If you continue, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
What happens to our character if they get hit by a train while getting into a car in all GTA games?
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
If you took off your skin, could you just put on someone else's? Well, doctors would have to carefully remove it from their body without causing any damage. Then,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
he was mad because he died in the game. So he researched the other gamer's identity. And after 7 months of stalking, he realized
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
he lived just a few miles away. When he rang the doorbell,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
suddenly,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
he pulled out a kitchen knife and stabbed the man in the chest. It missed his heart by less than an inch, and somehow
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Did you know that if in Red Dead Redemption 2 you burn Lenny alive,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
and then go to Dutch,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
he'll get furious and tell you this.
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
But Jack will be so shocked that he'll try to
Show up to defend his home.
set him on fire, take his burnt corpse,
His home.
throw it to his mother Abigail. She will try
To defend his home.
But if you immediately set her on fire, throw knives, make her explode, shoot explosive arrows, drill her with bullets, blow her up with a cannon, punch her, and bring her corpse to John,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
he will tell you this.
Hey, sweetheart.
Now it's crucial that you don't miss this step.
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Go to Valentine at 5 p.m. in the game. You'll find
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
if you tell her this,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
you'll be able to
Show up to defend his home.
If you try to rob the saloon, she will help you,
Show up to defend his home.
but then she'll get shot. That's when you have to go to this exact point on the map. Catch the massive fish, shoot the massive uncle, shoot NPCs, get wanted, fake surrender, shoot the sheriff, end it, rob the bank, and your money will exponentially increase. If you do all this, when you kill Sadie, something shocking will happen.
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. Did you know if you visit Franklin's house using Trevor and shoot rockets at the house, you will actually get a text message from Franklin? But if you wait long enough, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Did you know that if you're on the map Midtown as Mr. Fantastic, and you went to the front of the Baxter building, he will have
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. If Jeffrey Epstein buys a mansion in GTA Online, a group of mysterious goons will raid his house. Luckily for Epstein, Michael will eventually show up to defend his home. Franklin will eventually show up. Did you know that the word papaya backwards is Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home?
If you pour water into a hammer mold, freeze it, peel it out, and then try to hit a nail, it will shatter right away. Instead, use a mallet mold to spread the weight more evenly. Next, tear up a paper towel to spread on the bottom. This makes a mesh that holds the ice layers together. After that, stuff in cotton balls, which helps give the ice a sturdy structure, and lay 2 strings down the length of the hammer to keep the handle connected to the head. Finally,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Did you know that in Yakuza 0, when both yourself and your opponent are drunk,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
If you step on a red velvet ant,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
your shoe will bounce right off. You see,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
this ant is actually a wingless wasp, and its exoskeleton is so hard it can survive being crushed. But it
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
also has the longest stinger of any insect relative to its body, which it can use over and over without breaking, injecting venom so painful it's called the cow killer.
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. This streamer was given a Dr. Thunder instead of a Dr. Pepper, and Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. Did you know on Franklin's first mission on GTA 5, if you decide to pick the red car and not drive off after a while, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home? Did you also know that if you decide to choose option B on the last GTA mission and visit Michael's house after defeating him, Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home?
if you went blind, your brain would stop taking in signals from your eyes. But in rare cases,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
if you only had 1 battery left and needed to turn on a flashlight,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
if you slide your cup side to side fast,
Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home. Franklin will eventually show up to defend his home.
Told me I should just quit. First of all, you talk white. Second off, you talk like you haven't given up yet. Rap stepfather, yeah, you hate me, but you will respect. I put in work, ask Ludwig. Put my soul on the track like shoes did. Play this for my cousin, now he can't even think straight. Black and white